Brave New World and 1984 are great modern classics. Negative utopias. This is a reading of 1984 by George Orwell, When and Afterward by Eric Verhon. Signet Classic, published New American Library. Okay. Carefully selected, copyright 1949 by Harcourt Pries Company. Afterward 1961 by the New American Library of World Literature Incorporated. All rights reserved, printed in the United States of America. Alright, yes so. So, page 256, and I quote, and again, false start. It is being written as we speak. Page 256. Simple everyday action, or was already orthodox. Good thinkful would be the new speaking expression in tendency. In practice, this meant that no book written before approximately 1960 could be translated as a whole. Pre-revolutionary literature could only be subjected to ideological translation, that is, alteration in sense as well as language. Take, for example, a well-known passage from the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that we are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers from consent of governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of those ends, it is the right of people to alter or abolish it and to institute a new government. So, and again, false start. It would have been quite impossible to render this into newspeak while keeping to the sense of original. The nearest one could come to doing so would be to swallow the whole passage up in the single word, crime, think. A full translation could only be an ideological translation whereby Jefferson's words would be changed into a panegyric on absolute government. A good deal of the literature of the past was indeed already being transformed in this way. Considerations of prestige made it desirable to preserve the memory of certain historical figures, while at the same time bringing their achievements into line with the philosophy of Ingsoc. Various writers, such as Shakespeare, Milton, Swift, Byron, Dickens, and some others were therefore in the process of translation. When the task had been completed, the original writings were all that else that survived of the literature of the past would be destroyed. These translations were a slow and difficult business, and it was not expected that they would be finished before the first or second decade of the 20th century. 21st century. There were also large quantities of merely utilitarian literature, indispensable technical manuals and the likes that had to be treated in the same way. It was chiefly in order to allow time for the preliminary work of translation that the final adoption of newspeak had been fixed for so late date as 2050. And we're done here. It's being written as we speak. Det skrivs samtidigt som vi talar. And again, false. For a reading of George Orwell's 1984, a Signet Classic. So, people are approaching and we're going out to the summer evening in Gnesta. So, just gonna watch out here because it's a bit slippery when wet, as Bon Jovi says. Okay, here we are now. Feeling the temptations of readings. This is a Signet Classic. So, välkommen till Gnesta. Gå gärna i land vid flaggstången. Här finns boende, butiker, restauranger, tåg och buss. Tack för att du besöker Gnesta. Aldous Huxley's Brave New World and George Orwell's 1984 were great modern classics of negative utopia. Not dramas of what life might be, but nightmare of what is becoming. Well, he was the pen name of Eric Blair, born in 1903. Well, this is 1904 novel with an afterword by Erich Fromm, signature classic published by the New American Library. So, and again, false start. Copyright 1949 by Harcourt Brace and Company Incorporated. Afterward 1961 copyright with a New American Library of World Literature Incorporated. Printed in the United States of America back in a long time ago. So the afterword is not really that relevant anymore because it's quite old. However, page 256. Okay, page 256. Simple everyday action, or was already orthodox, good thinkful, would be the new speak and expression in tendency. In practice, this meant that no book, novel, written before approximately 1960 could be translated as a whole. Pre-revolutionary literature could only be subjected to ideological translation, that is, alteration in sense as well as language. Take, for example, a well-known passage from the Declaration of Independence. But it's a cold autumn night. It is being written as we speak, close